Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I am fashionably late to a Halloween collab. Yay! So I participated in a Halloween collab with a bunch of other awesome artists here on YouTube. The participants were His Name is Akin, HLE Crafts, I Could Do That DIY, Kiro's Workshop, The Hatter Dolls, Valkyrie's World, and also Electric Bunny VT, who didn't get their doll done in time, but her doll is very cool, so check it out. Everyone is linked down below. Alright, so what are we doing? Lately, I've been very inspired by new doll lines. I've been very impressed with like the new Barbies. I've been very impressed with the Magic Mixies Pixlings. I've been so impressed with like all the new G3 dolls. I've been very impressed. I have two Magic Mixies Pixlings, and I figured, let's paint one of them. I have a deer one and I have a bunny, and I figured with the bunny one, I could make a white bat. I don't like the Magic Mixies bodies though, because most of them have molded on clothes and they don't have wrist articulation, and we just don't do that here on this channel. So we're gonna be giving her a new body yaddy yaddy. I'm making a hybrid. What else is new on this channel? It's like literally all I do lately. Her head is the same exact size, I would say, as the Barbie Extra Minis. So of course, we're using a Cave Club doll body. I'm running out of Cave Club dolls, guys. It's a sad day. I'm probably gonna have to buy a lot off eBay. But if you guys have any unwanted Cave Club dolls, send them my way. I'm half joking. I will probably make them a cute doll, I'm just saying. It makes me so sad that my two favorite dolls to combine, which are Barbie Extra Minis and the Cave Club bodies, they're both discontinued. What am I gonna do? I'm just gonna cry in the corner. So let's get ready to rumble. Let's get on to the doll. We've got to warm up those heads with a blow dryer and pop those bad boys off. I was curious how hard it would be to get the gem out of the Pixling's head, and the answer is it was super easy. Like that thing just bye. She has a horrifying hole in her head, which is honestly kind of freaking me out. I don't like it, but we're gonna fix it in a minute. The neck peg on the Cave Club doll was too long, so I had to trim it down with wire cutters. The neck hole and neck combo were pretty okay. There were times though that it would kind of sink down a little bit and I have to pull the head back up. And this is a gorgeous combo. Like, it looks crazy right now, but give it a second. I took the head back off and I'm gonna be cutting off all the hair because we're gonna give her white hair. Her hair is honestly so pretty, so this felt kind of sad, but it's okay. The Pixling heads are incredibly hard, so I had to reheat it up in a cup of hot water, and then I scraped around the head with a screwdriver to get all those glue plugs out. Her neck hole is just itty bitty, so I'm not even playing with that. I'm gonna cut a hole in the back of her head and pull the plugs out that way. Say you're a mom without saying you're a mom. You heat the head back up in some hot water because it got hard again, and you take it out of the hot water with a burp cloth. Getting the paint off was truly a journey. So I took out my 100% acetone, did nothing. Didn't even like get a little bit of the paint off. It did nothing. So these dolls are Moose Toys, and for some strange reason, Moose Toys has no chill when it comes to their face paint. This stuff will survive the apocalypse. I don't know what they think that consumers or customers or children are doing with their toys, but it is just the most heaviest of dutiest of paint. I don't even know if it's paint, okay? Like, look, it's doing nothing. So I had to bust out my sandpaper, which is a miserable process if you were wondering, and I didn't get all the paint off. Part of me feels attacked. Like, I feel like they don't want doll repainters to paint their dolls. They're like, no, they're perfect, get away. But yeah, I need to fill in that giant gaping hole in her forehead, so I do so with epoxy sculpt. I use a ton of water to smooth it down off camera, and then I'm gonna be making her all one color because she's rocking like 4 different colors here. I use this like Warhammer Citadel Corax white paint, and for some reason it gives her, like, it's white, but it's like a dull white. It's almost like light gray. It is time to paint her face. So I spray the doll 3 times Mr. Super Clear, waiting 15 minutes between each spray and wearing a respirator mask, and we get into it. This doll has extremely molded on eyeballs, so I'm kind of following them a bit because I do have a plan for this doll's lashes because I have a goal to make them white. If you guys don't know, every time I try to do white lashes, I hate them, so I am determined to like them with this doll. But I'm giving her like a cat eye because her molding kind of slopes down a bit. This head, again, is very, very hard, so the pencils are acting a bit scratchy. They're just not laying down the best, so I'm going to end up going in with quite a bit of paint. Typically for dolls I do very wispy lashes, but I decided to try something different and make these ones extremely graphic for a technique for the white lashes. Alright, so listen, Linda, she a Halloween doll, but she a cute Halloween doll. She's like literally not spooky at all. And I'm gonna be giving her the biggest irises, and they're gonna be pointing towards the middle of her face because she is baby. She is cutesy. This feels goofy, but I feel like it highlights how dull this white spray paint is because the white of the pencil is just so much brighter, and I'm filling in the whites of her eyes. I'm just wondering if someone can please talk me out of this. I'm thinking of buying the $60 Supreme doll from the Magic Mixies Pixlings, but I just want the doll. I do not want all the other stuff, and it's just such a waste of money. The doll is for sure, like the doll alone is not worth $60, so it's just like, I feel like it's a bad life choice. Someone help me. I'm obsessed with the mouse mold on these dolls. It is adorable. It's so cute. It has little like gaping teeth, but I put some red pastel on her lips and cleaned it up with a kneaded eraser. So Girly Pop needs blush and she needs it now. So I'm putting light pink pastel all over her face, basically, on her cheeks, nose, forehead, and a little bit on the ears. I colored that waterline in with a peach pencil. I like blotchy blush. I'm giving her blotchy blush. I'm taking a very deep red and putting that on the middle of her cheeks. To shade her eyelids in, I'm taking a dark, cool brown and I'm tapping that on the sides of her eyelids and also bringing some up around on the top lid. I'm giving her veins around her face, which are just very light blue pencil marks that are branch-like around the eyes, her ears, her forehead, like literally everywhere. Does it make sense? Because I'm pretty sure bats are furry, but like, you know, live your life like how you want to. If you want veins on top of fur, do your thing, boo-boo. I'm just kidding. She's like a humanoid bat, so like rules don't apply. To emphasize that gorgeous lip shape, I'm taking a little bit of red pastel on a Q-tip, and this is just applying a more concentrated color there, so it's deeper and darker. I have a couple fluorescent pencils, so I'm filling in the iris with this pink one, and these are actually not watercolor pencils. I found I have a couple of dolls that I used regular colored pencils on, and they've been chilling around for like years, and nothing has happened, so I don't know. I'm not encouraging you to do that, but I don't think it's a big deal if you do. It is black time. So I'm tapping black pastel on the eyelids, the sides, and then also a little bit on the middle of the mouth. I'm going over the lashes with the black pencil, and you're probably confused about my choices because I said that I'm giving her white lashes, and this is clearly not white. But there is a method to my madness. The cool thing about this white being kind of dull is that I can actually highlight it. So I'm doing that with brighter whites like this white pastel. I'm further highlighting around the face with a white pencil, and I'm doing so around the eyes and also a little bit on the very top of the upper lip. To give the white of her eyes and her iris more of a 3D look, I tapped some black pastel underneath the upper lid. I've been looking at a lot of cute figures and blind box BJDs lately, and I saw some with really cute round eyebrows, so I just gave her little circles above her eyes instead of brows. I'm giving her lip wrinkle highlights. For a while I was doing this with white, but I found that using a softer, like nude, actually looks better. The lashes and the pupil and everything are just looking very dark, so I'm taking a red pastel and I'm tapping that on the middle of the pupil. I decided I wanted a little bit more intense, so I took a fluorescent pink watercolor and I tapped that on the very bottom of the pupil. If you guys have been around here for a minute, then you may know that I like giving my dolls a very sort of fuzzy limbo ring around their eye, so I'm just taking black watercolor and I'm flicking that towards the pupil.
Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched.
To make those lashes a nice solid shape, instead of having a little bit of scratchiness to them, I go over the lash line with some black watercolor.
So bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality.
The eyes got super dark, so I'm going to bring back some highlights to them with an extremely light pink watercolor.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me.
I'm doing important stuff, and important stuff is giving her the tiniest of teeniest little fangs. Oh, it's so cute. It is time for the lashes. So I'm going over them with a white watercolor pencil, and I'm just following like the flicks of that graphic lash line. After that is laid down, again, it has a scratchy quality because it's pencil, so I'm going over it with white paint.
I wanna taste your content, hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell.
To break up that fuzzy line that I put around her iris, I'm flicking some white in towards the pupil.
It's music till the wick burns out.
I also want to make her lower lashes white, so I'm lining the waterline with white watercolor paint, and then I'm flicking the lashes from there. She had cute BBs, so we gotta give her some cute BB catch lights, which are just 2 dots. It's time for metallic. So I'm taking some rose gold metallic watercolor paint and I'm putting that in the inner corner of her eye. And then I'm taking some red and I'm adding that to the very like middle and kind of flicking it out. I also add 2 dots to her cheeks because it's real cutesy. I add some Tamiya gloss to her lips and I was getting a little obsessive, okay, with certain details of this doll. So I was like, she needs glitter. So I put a chunky red glitter on her pupil. Off camera, I added a little bit of purple metallic paint around her pupil, like with flicks coming out, and she's finally done, for the love of God. So this doll is gonna be giving white. She's gonna be like white on white on white. I found this awesome ribbon at my local fabric store, and it's basically ruffles. So the one is 2 ruffles, and it's slightly shorter than the other one. And I'm going to be gather stitching both of these and then sewing the shorter one on top of the longer one. We're moving on to the top, so I'm hemming everything with glue. There's a cup for her booba, so I hem this and then I'm sewing a dart in the middle. I sew some shimmery white ribbon onto the front of the top. I found with clothing, I get really weird with raw edges. I don't know why. So I'm taking this ribbon that I folded in half and I'm gluing this white ribbon to it. For some reason, this white ribbon looks very light blue. It's not. It's white, I swear. I placed the top. I can't say this sentence for some reason. I placed the cup at the top of the top and I sew it together good side to good side. I made the top a little bit too small, so I took off the back pieces and I'm sewing a little bit of this ribbon that I put on the front to the sides so that it just extends it a bit. I love this itty bitty ribbon, but I sew it to the top of the top and the bottom of the top. I sewed the top of the dress to the bottom, and when I put it on the doll, I realized that I didn't like the silhouette. And I didn't like the silhouette because the fabric was too stiff. So this is literally what I did in my last video. I learned nothing. I just remade the top with this white velvety fabric and sort of simplified it. And I like it a lot. I like it a lot too. I like the other one, I like this one. But I'm sewing this little pearl to the booba area. As finishing touches for this dress, I sewed a bit of pearls, or a strip of pearls to the very bottom, and I also put 2 elastics at the top of the dress so that I could tie it around her neck. And the dress is done, and honestly I really like how it came out. So this bat is giving very fancy, so we're making her an underskirt. I gather stitched 2 strips of fabric, sewed them together, and then sewed them on this ribbon. Miss Ma'am needs a poofy sleeve because don't we all? So I took 2 strips of tulle and I gather stitched the top and the bottom, and then I folded them in half and sewed up the side seam. I wanted her to have a ruffly collar, so this is literally the same exact materials and steps as the underskirt. It's just a tinier version. The underskirt be like, don't talk to me or my son ever again. The only thing that's different from the underskirt is I sewed this strip of pearls on top. And I don't know about you guys, but I find sewing like strips of pearls to things very relaxing. I don't know if anybody else is like that, but it's just, I like doing it. So I does it. This thing is so cute. Like, look at this thing. On to hair. So I am working with two very different types of white yarn. One is like super straight and the other one is wavy. I just barely had any white yarn, so I'm working with what I got. Her hair is going to be up anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but I'm taking the wefts and I'm gluing them from the bottom going upward. Since I want her to have pigtails, I am going to be putting the part all the way down the middle of the head so that I can separate the hair into two different sections. Old girl needed her wings, and I should have done this before I spray painted, but you know. Whoopsie daisies. My favorite type of wings are magnetic ones because they're non-committal. I can take them off. So I'm putting some epoxy sculpt in the middle of her back and then putting a magnet in the middle and smoothing it down. I'm going to be creating the wings out of Worbla. I'm kind of using the Worbla like it's clay, so like I'm like rolling it around and stuff. This was a very interesting experience. I think I've done this before, but just on a way smaller scale. So I cut the shape of the wings out and then I'm doing the boning with Worbla that I rolled. Once that's done, if there's any indents that I want filled, I do so with epoxy sculpt. Securing the magnet on the wings, I did it the same exact way that I secured it on her back. After the wings are done, I'm going to be bringing them outside and I'm spraying them with my white spray paint. I'm also touching up the body a bit. Off camera, I sprayed them with matte varnish as well once the spray paint dried, and I'm going to be blushing the body and the wings with the same tones that I used on the face. The other day somebody asked me to do a nipple tutorial for dolls. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably never gonna do that. I just feel like it would like get, I don't know, suppressed or demonetized or something. Like I just don't think it would get flagged. I don't know. But I can just explain briefly how I do it. So I dip a very tiny brush, like paintbrush, into red pastel and then I tap that on the middle of the chest. I do a C in the middle of that, super tiny, and then I take a little bit of white paint and I put that on top of the C, but you can still see the outline of the C, and that's it. They're like super simplistic. I would actually recommend if you ever do nipples, do them pretty simplistic because I've seen people over detail them and it just looks strange. Back to your regularly scheduled programming, I'm making shoes. So I am just making the same little booties that I've made a bunch of times with Worbla. I first do the sole and then I take this and I wrap it around the foot and I pinch it together at the sole. They're very simple. I was kind of running out of time, so that's honestly why I chose to make this type of shoe. Sort of probably would have done a different one, I think, if I had the time, but you know, they're fine. They serve the purpose. I paint them white. I put a ton of tacky glue on these shoes and I wrapped some fabric around them and pinched them pretty tightly in place with clamps so that it would dry to the shape of the shoe. After the fabric dried to the shoe shape, I took another sole and I'm putting that on the bottom of the shoe. I gather stitched this little itty bitty piece of tulle and I glued it to the front of the shoe, the front opening, and then off camera I glued some pearls around the opening of the shoe, and her shoes are done. Yes! Yeah, so we're moving on to hair. It looks a mess, but I'm gonna be kind of just like wrapping it and then wrapping wire going up her hair so that it holds in place. You may be wondering why there is a pink streak. It's because I ran out of white yarn, so I used pink because I didn't want to go to the craft store. And with that, Miss Ma'am is done. So these are all her little accessories. Off camera, I also made her stockings and put some bows in her hair. But I love her, and I really like how the white lashes came out. Like, they're very thickums, but like, I dig them. I want to try more colored lashes. I'm kind of excited to. I loved painting this Magic Mixies Pixling, and I want to paint more. I just feel like they're really hard to color match to like doll bodies because they're kind of transparent-ish. So if you guys know of good like doll matches with these heads, let me know. Because I love their heads. They're really cute. Talk me out of buying the $60 Supreme one, please. Why do I want it so bad? I want it so bad. But yeah, I hope you guys had a good Halloween. I'm sorry this video is so late. Please check out my other collab members. They are all linked down below. And I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. I should have another video out shortly because I'm kind of backlogged with editing. So be on the lookout for that. All right, bye guys.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanity.